Now, subjects, this is more important. We already studied in 7th schedule. There is clearly demarcated. The powers between the center and the state is clearly demarcated in the form of union list, state list, concurrent list. Okay, that is what is called as subjects. And we know that each list consists of lot of items or subjects. So, we will see that. Okay, so the subjects, the center-state legislative relation in terms of subjects is divided between the center and state under the 7th schedule. Okay, so Article 246. So, 7th schedule is the detailed explanation of Article 246. Okay, so and 7th schedule is divided into 3 lists. The list 1, we'll start with the list 1 or union list. Okay, and union list consists of those subjects. Union list consists of those subjects which have common interest to the union. Okay, so if you look into the union list, you can see that these subjects are common. It should be applicable to every citizen of our country. Okay, so since it is having a common interest to the union, these subjects are included in the union list. And one interesting point about union list is that any items mentioned or any items which is there in the union list, only the parliament can make laws. So parliament has the exclusive power to make laws or to legislate on the items or the subjects mentioned in the union list. Okay. Now currently, so when the constitution came into existence, there were only 97 subjects. But later on, through some amendment, it was increased to 100. But recently means when GST was introduced in 2016, through the 101st Constitutional Amendment Act. 101st Constitutional Amendment Act. So, 101st Constitutional Amendment Act is a very important amendment in relation to center-state legislative relation and in relation to 7th schedule, because some items have been repealed and there have been some modifications in the union list as well as state list. Okay. So, after the implementation of 101st Constitutional Amendment Act, okay, 2 items were removed from the union list. So, as of now, just for your, the UPSC generally don't ask factual question, but for your understanding, but we don't know, we cannot take any risk. Currently, union list consists of 98 subjects. After the removal of 2 items, entry 92 and 92C from the union list, with the introduction of 101st Constitutional Amendment Act, we are having union list consists of currently 98 items. Okay. So, 101st Constitutional Amendment Act have made 3 changes to the union list. Okay. So, the points to remember is that only the parliament can make laws in relation to union list. Union list currently consists of 98 items. 2 items or 2 subjects were removed by 101st Constitutional Amendment Act, and also 1 subject or 1 item have been amended. We will see all the 3. Okay. So, entry 92. Entry 92 have been repealed by 101st Constitutional Amendment. Okay. What was entry 92 was dealing with? Entry 92 was dealing with the newspaper and advertisement. Okay. So, that has been deleted, and now that newspaper and all these advertisement will come under the goods and service tax. It is not there. It is not there under the union list. See, try to understand that goods and service tax is very special in the sense that both the center and the state is having power in relation to goods and service tax. Okay. If you put it under union list, what does it mean? Only union can make law. But GS in relation to GST, both the union as well as the state can make law. That's the reason why some items were removed from the union list and some items were removed from the state list under the 101st Constitutional Amendment Act 2016. Okay. So, entry 92 was removed, and similarly entry 92C, very important, entry 92C was dealing with service tax. Okay. So, service tax is now not there. Instead of service tax, what we are having is GST, goods and service tax. So, 92C was also removed. Now, entry 84 was amended. So, earlier entry 84 was consist of talking was a big entry 84 in the union list was talking only about excise duty on tobacco and other goods. So that was amended. Okay, that was this entry 84 was amended. It was substituted like this. It says that not only tobacco and other goods, it is substituted like this. It included, so entry 84 substituted by 101st Constitutional Amendment, it included petroleum crude. So excise duty on petroleum crude, high speed diesel, motor spirit, that is petrol, natural gas, aviation turbine fuel, and the already one, tobacco and tobacco products. So entry 84, so try to understand these items currently is not under GST. So since they are not under GST, excise duty will continue on these products. Okay, so that was the reason. Maybe in future, these items will be subsumed under GST. Since they are not currently subsumed under GST, there will be excise duty on these items. Okay, so entry 84 was amended. Okay, now, and 101st Constitutional Amendment also inserted an article, very important article related with GST. That is next after this Article 246, Article 246A. Article 246A is very, very important. Article 246A talks about the power of the center and the state in relation to GST. Article 246A, clause 1 says that Parliament as well as the legislature of every state, Parliament and legislature of every state has the power to make laws with respect to GST. So Article 246A clause 1 says that both the center as well as all the states has the power to make laws with respect to GST in relation to the union as well as to that particular state. So we already know that there is a central GST law is there, state GST law is there. Okay, it is mainly because of this Article 246A clause 1. And 246A clause 2 says that Parliament only has exclusive power to make laws with respect to GST in the case of interstate trade or commerce. So in relation to interstate trade or commerce, Parliament only can make law. That's why Integrated Goods and Service Tax Act was enacted by the Parliament. Respective state goods and service tax is passed by the state legislature. Central GST is passed by the union legislature. Okay, so there have been many laws have been enacted by the Parliament as well as state legislature in relation to GST. So be very clear what is mentioned in Article 246 capital letter 8, Article 246A, which is a new article inserted by the 101st Constitutional Amendment Act, which says that Parliament and state legislature have the power to make law with respect to GST, but in the case of interstate trade or commerce, only the Parliament has the exclusive power to make law in relation to GST. Now, we will see that, okay, there have been situations in which UPSC have asked questions regarding, they asked match the pair question or correctly which of the, they have given some subjects and they have given you union list, state list or concurrent list and asked which one is correctly matched. Okay, so they will ask which subject is there in the union list or state list or concurrent list. So UPSC aspirants are supposed to know which all subjects are there in the union list, which all are there in the state list as well as in the concurrent list. You can expect a question. Already UPSC have asked 2 times question directly from this. Okay, so just for your idea, union list, I told you, union list consists of those subjects which are having a common interest to the union, defense of India. Okay, defense of India, then naval, military and air forces and any other armed forces of the union. It is entry 2 of the union list. 2A, which was inserted later, it was initially was not there, but through a constitutional amendment this was added. That is deployment of any armed forces of the union in any state in aid of the civil power. That is also there in the union list. Then cantonment areas and local self-government in cantonment areas is coming under union list. Naval, military and air force works comes under union list. Arms, firearms, ammunition and explosives. Then atomic energy, very important. Atomic energy and mineral resources necessary for its production comes under union list. Defense industries, note down, defense industries comes under the union list. Central Bureau of Intelligence, that is Intelligence Bureau and any central investigative agencies, intelligence as well as investigative agencies comes under union list. Preventive detention in relation to defense, foreign affairs or the security of India comes under the union list. Okay, so preventive detention is there in the concurrent list also. There preventive detention, the subject matter is different. Okay, so if someone is detention means someone has been detented, okay, under the on reasons connected with defense of our country or foreign affairs or the security of India, so that will come under the union list. Then foreign affairs, diplomatic, consular and trade representation, United Nations, okay, comes under union list. Then international conferences, associations and their bodies, international bodies, international treaties, agreement and conventions with foreign countries, war and peace, foreign jurisdiction. This 17th item is very, very important. Okay, they can ask you, citizenship comes under which list? Citizenship, naturalization and aliens comes under the union list. Very important. Extradition, passports and visa, pilgrimages to places outside India, piracies and crimes committed on the high sea or in the air and offences against the law of nations, railways, national highways, very important. Railways, national highways comes under the union list. Shipping and navigation on national waterways, maritime shipping and navigation, lighthouses for the safety of shipping and aircraft, major ports, port quarantine, seaman and marine hospitals, airways, aircraft and air navigation and also provision of aerodromes, carriage of passengers and goods by railway, sea, air or national waterways. Okay, so carriage of passengers and goods through railway, sea, air or national waterways comes under the union list. Then post and telegraphs, telephones, wireless broadcasting and other like form of communication. Then the property of the union, 33 item was omitted. Then courts of ward for the estates of rulers of Indian states. Basically courts of wards are those courts to take care of the estates of rulers of Indian states. Then public debt of the union, very important, currency, coinage and legal tender including foreign exchange comes under the union list. Foreign loans, Reserve Bank of India comes under the union list. Post office savings bank, very important, post office savings banks come under the union list. Lotteries organized by the union or states comes under the union list. Trade and commerce with foreign countries. Interstate trade and commerce, this is very, very important, entry 42, okay. Interstate trade and commerce comes under the union list. That's the reason why when we are discussing in relation to GST, only the parliament has the exclusive power to make law in relation to GST if it is in relation to interstate trade and commerce, okay. So interstate trade and commerce is there in the union list. Since interstate trade and commerce is there in the union list, only the parliament has the power to make laws in relation to interstate trade and commerce. Then trading corporation including banking, so banking comes under union list. Insurance, financial corporation, but not including cooperative society. So no, cooperative society is not there. Cooperative society comes under the state list. Then corporations, whether trading or not, with objects not confined to one state. So if any corporation have been established for 2 or more states, then it comes under the union list. Then banking, so note down banking, RBI, post office savings banks, all are coming under union list. Bills of exchange, checks, promissory note and other similar instruments comes under the union list. Then insurance, stock exchanges and future market, note down, stock exchange and future markets comes under the union list. Patent, inventions, designs, copyright, trademarks and merchandise marks. So all the intellectual property rights comes under the union list. Then establishment of standards of weights and measure, okay. So the establishment of standards of weights and measure comes under the union list. Then establishment of the standards of quality for goods, okay. So standard of quality for goods to be exported. So to establish the standards of quality for goods which are to be exported out of India or transported from one state to another will come under union list. Then industries which are under the control of the union due to public interest comes under that. Oil fields, okay. So oil fields and mineral oil resources, petroleum and petroleum products, other liquids and substances which are inflammable will comes under union list. Regulation of mines and mineral development in the public interest, 54. It's very important. This was one of the questions UPSC asked. In 2006, UPSC asked a question. They have given 4 subjects and they asked which of the following comes under the union list. And this was the answer. Okay. So regulation of mines and mineral development in the public interest. Regulation of mines and mineral development in public interest comes under union list. Already UPSC asked this question. Then regulation of labor and safety in mines and oil fields comes under the union list. Regulation and development of interstate rivers, so interstate rivers and river valleys comes under union list. Fishing and fisheries beyond territorial water. So, see, be very clear, okay. Fishing and fisheries beyond territorial water comes under the union list, but within the territorial water comes under the state list. So, beyond territorial water comes under union list. Manufacture, supply and distribution of salt by union and other agency. Okay. So, salt production or manufacture, supply or distribution of salt by the union comes under the union list. Then, cultivation and manufacture of opium and its export come under the union list. Sanctioning of cinematograph films for exhibition. Industrial disputes concerning union and employees. National Library, Indian Museum, Imperial War Museum, Victoria Memorial and the Indian War Memorial and any other institution of national importance comes under union list. Then, very interesting, certain universities are mentioned in the union list. Banaras Hindu University, Aligarh Muslim University and Delhi University. Any other institution of national importance comes under the union list. Then, scientific or technical education institution of national importance. Union agencies and institutions for training, research or detection of crime. Any union agency dealing with this training, research or detection of crime comes under the union list. Then standards for institutions for higher education. Standards for higher education or research and scientific and technical institutions comes under union list. Ancient and historical monuments and records and archaeological sites and remains of national importance comes under union list. Survey of India. Then similarly other surveys like geological, botanical, zoological and anthropological surveys of India, meteorological organization comes under the union list. Census, very important. Census comes under the union list. Then Union Public Services, All India Services, UPSC comes under the union list. Union Pension comes under the union list. Election to Parliament, so election to Parliament. Legislature of States, elections to Parliament, Legislature of States and Office of the President and Vice President, including the Election Commission, comes under the union list. Salaries and allowances of members and presiding officers of the Parliament comes under the union list. Then the powers, privileges and immunities of each House of Parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and of the members and the committees of each House comes under the union list. Then emoluments and service condition of the President, Governors, Union Ministers and CAG comes under the union list. Audit of the Union, audit of the accounts of the Union as well as the audit of the states comes under the union list. Very careful, okay, audit of not only the Union, accounts of the Union, but even the audits of accounts of the states comes under the union list, not under the state list, okay. Audits of the accounts of the states comes under the union list. So be very careful about states also, not only about the union, okay. Then organization, jurisdiction and powers of the Supreme Court, okay. Supreme Court, okay, Supreme Court, how the Supreme Court is organized, what are its jurisdiction and the powers comes under the union list. Similarly, organization of the High Court comes under the union list. So, jurisdiction and powers of the High Court is there given in other thing, okay. Then, extension of the jurisdiction of a High Court to any union territory comes under the union list. Then, extension of the powers and jurisdiction of members of a police force belonging to any state, to any other area outside the state. So, if you want to extend the power of any police force to any other state, that extension of power comes under the union list only. Then, interstate migration, interstate quarantine comes under union list. Taxes on income other than agricultural income. See, all the income, tax on income, all the income tax except agricultural income. Agriculture and agricultural income comes under state list, okay. So, tax on income other than agricultural income comes under union list. Then, customs duty, including export or import duty, comes under the union list. Then, duties, this item 84 have been amended and few items were added to it. So duties of excise on petroleum crude, high-speed diesel, motor spirit, natural gas, aviation turbine fuel, tobacco and tobacco products. So excise duty on these products comes under the union list. Corporation tax comes under the union list. Then capital gains tax, that is taxes on the capital value of the assets, except agricultural land, comes under the union list. Then estate duty in respect of property other than agricultural land. Anything related with agriculture comes under state list. So estate duty other than agricultural land comes under union list. Then duties in respect of succession to property. So duties in respect of succession to property other than agricultural land comes under union list. Terminal taxes on goods or passengers carried by railway, sea or air, as well as taxes on railway fares and freights comes under union list. Taxes other than stamp duties on transaction in stock exchanges and future markets comes under union list. Then rates of stamp duty in respect of bills of exchange, checks, promissory notes, bills of lading, letters of credit, policies of insurance, transfers of share, debenture, proxies and receipts, etc. So all these regarding the stamp duty rates on these items will be decided by the parliament. That's the meaning of putting these items in the union list. Okay. So stamp duty rate on these financial instruments will be decided by the union parliament only, because it's a subject mentioned in the union list. Then taxes on the sale or purchase of newspaper and on advertisement published therein. Okay. So this 92. This item in the 92 union list have been repealed by GST with the introduction of, with the amendment, with the passage of 101st Constitutional Amendment Act. Entry 92 of the union list have been removed. So regarding the taxes on the sale or purchase of newspaper and advertisement in the newspaper have been removed, because now it is subsumed under GST. So it is not there. Entry 92 is not there. The 92A, that is tax on sale or purchase of goods where other than newspaper, where such sale or purchase takes place in the course of interstate trade or commerce. So regarding the taxes on the sale, so sales tax on interstate goods is there under the union list. Then taxes on the consignment of goods in the course of interstate trade or commerce. So any taxes on the consignment of goods, any taxes on sale in interstate trade commerce, any tax on the consignment of goods in the interstate trade commerce comes under the union list. Then service tax, I already told you, 92C. 92C also repealed by 101st Constitutional Amendment Act. We don't have service tax now. Service tax is now subsumed under GST. Then offences against laws with respect to any of the matters in this list comes under union list. Enquiries, surveys and statistics for the purpose of any of the matters mentioned in this list comes under the union list. Jurisdiction and powers of all courts except the Supreme Court with respect to any of the matters in this list comes under it. Then admiralty jurisdiction, okay, admiralty jurisdiction in relation to territorial waters, okay, that comes under the union list. Then fees in respect of any of the matters in this list, excluding any fees related to court, is included in the union list. And last item, any other matter not enumerated in list 2 or list 3. This is very interesting. Entry 97. Any other matter not mentioned in list 2. List 1 is union list, list 2 is state list, and list 3 is concurrent list. So any matter which is not there in state list or concurrent list, including any tax not mentioned in either of those lists, will come under union list. So article 97, entry 97 is talking about residuary power. Means any subjects which is not there in the state list or concurrent list will automatically will be added to the union list. Okay, this is how service tax was added to the union list. Earlier service tax was not there in any of the 3 lists, but due to this residuary power, it was given to it was inserted in the union list. So be very clear, okay, number wise you can see only 97 item, but actually you should have, and when the constitution came into existence there were only 97 subjects, but through later many repeal and amendment it was increased to 100, but with the introduction of 101st Constitutional Amendment 2 more items were removed. Currently union list consists of 98 subjects.